We are in Marceline, Missouri, in case you couldn't tell by the big sign that said Marceline. This is Main Street, USA. Recognize that name? Walt Disney. This is Walt Disney's boyhood hometown. And Main Street, USA, which is right over here, of Marceline, was his inspiration for Main Street, USA in Disneyland. So if you've been to Disneyland and you've been on Main Street, USA, this little town that he lived in as a boy was his inspiration for that. I think that is so cool that some little tiny town in northern Missouri was his inspiration. It is said that he loved this town and he actually came back to visit even after having moved away later in his life. A few of the buildings in this town were actually, what do you call that? What's that word I'm trying to... reproduced, sort of. Yeah, duplicated, reproduced as part of the Main Street USA in Disneyland. One of them is actually this Uptown Theater, which we're probably going to have to go across the street so that you can get a good view of that. There is the Uptown Theater. And there's a, what did I say it was named? We've never been to Disneyland. On Main Street USA in Disneyland, it's something else theater. I can't remember the name of it. Some of you will probably know exactly what I'm talking about if you've been to Disneyland. But he modeled that after this Uptown Theater. It was actually built and opened in 1930. Look at that. You can rent an Airbnb. See all the Disney stuff on there. Some pictures. Opened June 30th, 1930. In 1956, Walt and Roy Disney held the Midwest premiere of their feature film, The Great Locomotive Chase, in this theater. If you want to read the rest of that, just go ahead and pause and read. I am going to be horrible here again. This is the Zurcher building. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. And I do believe that's one of them that also was used in Main Street, USA, but it wasn't called the Zurcher building. I don't remember what it was. There's also supposed to be on Main Street, USA in Disneyland, there is supposed to be a Marceline's Confectionery, which is kind of neat that he actually named something with the name of the town. You see that street sign? Main Street, USA. It looks like Disney ears, Mickey ears. That's cute. Marceline was actually on the Atchison, Topeka, Santa Fe Railroad. Here's an old locomotive. And there is something about the railroad that it's like his uncle or something worked on the railroad, and I think he as a boy got to ride on the train or something like that. But it does kind of look like, do they still use this? It looks like they still maybe use this railroad.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yep, I hear train or something coming. Yep. I think. Sure sounds like a train. Oh, yep, there it is. It's on the other side of this one. The original Mark I Aeroflight track Junior automobile was artfully designed and manufactured for Walt Disney by the innovative Aero Development Company of Mountain View, California in 1957. Christened Midget Autopia, the attraction was opened adjacent to the Storybook Land canal boats in Disneyland. Child-sized electric cars ran on a center rail that guided the ride along a concrete track, giving children the illusion they were controlling the vehicle. I love rides like that. Disneyland retired Midget Autopia in 1966, making way for a new attraction, It's a Small World, fresh off its year-long run at the 64 New York World's Fair. Walt and Roy decided to donate Midget Autopia to the city of Marceline in 1966. A WED Imagineering memo stated donation of this ride is unprecedented in Disneyland's history and will probably be the only one ever taken to a new location from the famous Magic Kingdom in Anaheim, California. Once located in Marceline's Walt Disney Municipal Park, the beloved ride was operational from 66 to 77. When the city retired Walt and Roy's gift from day-to-day operation, the concrete track remained as a playground for local children and a visual reminder of the Disney's generosity. Sadly, the 66 track was removed from its park location by the city of Marceline due to maintenance and safety concerns. But this is this is it.
Yeah, this is a new walking track that was put in its place.
Aww, that's cute. Huh. How neat. So I wonder if this normally was open and you would ride through it then, probably. An interesting bit of information, Walt Disney actually had plans to open a theme park here in Marceline, Missouri. And unfortunately, he passed away in '66 and never actually got to finish that project. And I guess his brother and family members just never carried on that dream of his, which is kind of sad because that would have been really pretty cool to have had our own Disney theme park here. So here's another big old locomotive. I'm zoomed out way too far. There we go. Now you can see it. Now this building over here used to be the depot for that railway, and it is now the Walt Disney Museum. We will not be going in there. From everything that I've understood, you're not allowed to video in there, so we are not gonna go ahead and go in there and check anything out. But just know, if you want to come, there is a fee, a fairly small fee, to enter the museum. And if you are a Disney fan, I hear that it is amazing that there's so much of his old belongings and things that the family has donated. His sister actually had said she did not want his stuff anywhere else. She wanted it here because he loved Marceline so much. So you might want to check that out if you're a big Disney fan. This park is actually named E.P. Ripley Park. In 1898, the Santa Fe Railroad donated land in the center of the city for a park. Walt Disney actually played in this very park as a child, and he later named the first steam engine installed in his Disneyland resort the E.P. Ripley. I don't know if that's still there, but if it is, and you've seen it, comment below and let us know, because I would like to know. I always liked the caboose of the train. I think it's a bummer that they don't use cabooses anymore, because I think they're cool. Had to get a shot of this mural. The top of it cracks me up. Hutchison's Furniture and Undertaking. So you can bury Uncle Fred and grab a sofa at the same time. This is the Disney family farmhouse. This is right in town. It's currently a private residence. The Disney's 1906 home still comprises the largest section of this current layout. An addition was added in the 80s to accommodate the needs of the current owner. Great care was taken not to alter the original layout or any of those features of the 1906 section of the home. So this was where Walt Disney lived. It's a beautiful home. Welcome to the Disney Family Farm, Walt's Dreaming Tree site and the Disney Family Barn site. This is private property, and so it's asked to please treat this piece of Disney history with respect it deserves. Admittance is granted thanks to the owner's generosity. It's open 365 days a year, dawn till dusk. It's free to the public and is maintained by volunteers of the Walt Disney Hometown Museum, and it is regularly patrolled by the Marceline Police Department, so don't come here and try to do something stupid. Shouldn't do that anyway. As an adult, Walt Disney wrote, "To tell the truth, more things of importance happened to me in Marceline than have happened to me since or are likely to in the future." Walt often drew upon his idyllic farm life in Marceline for stories and characters that became world famous through his animated and live action productions. I just can't get over it that a little tiny Ooh, this is muddy. A little tiny town in northern Missouri. World famous Walt Disney was inspired to recreate or pay homage to in his Disneyland theme park. It's a very short walk, it looks like, back here, which is good since it's quite muddy. You can see a lot of people been back through here. This is the Son of Dreaming Tree. It was planted in September of 2004. This Dreaming Tree sapling was planted by Walt's grandson Bradford with the assistance of Walt Disney World ambassadors Sarah Spike, Juan Aviles, and Christopher Stewart. Soil from the Magic Kingdom and water from the rivers of America were lovingly mixed with soil from this iconic farm during the planting ceremony. The original Dreaming Tree. In 1906, Elias Disney purchased the William Crane Farm located on the outskirts of Marceline. The entire family was enlisted by Elias of Florida to help maintain the farm, tasking a young Walt with the responsibility of keeping an eye on his little sister Ruth. Walter and Ruth would often escape to this very location where they would find solitude under the dappled leaves of a majestic cottonwood tree that Walt would later nickname his Dreaming Tree. Ruth would often recall the fun times she shared with her big brother as they climbed amidst the sturdy branches and played in the cool, tall grass under this intrinsic part of their very unique Midwest childhood. Elias rarely encouraged his youngest son to pursue his passion for drawing, never imagining that art would provide the basis for a well-paying career. Luckily, his very observant Aunt Margaret noticed a spark of artistic promise in her young nephew. Every visit, Margaret would covertly provide Walter with Big Chief drawing tablets, who remembers those, and a steady supply of sharpened pencils. This visionary gift gave Walt the ability to quietly lie beneath his beloved Dreaming Tree and slowly hone his craft. Walt Disney often credited this exact location as the birthplace of his creativity.
where that big hole is where it used to be.
So my understanding is, and I'm surprised they don't have an.
See, there's the creek.
Yeah. I'm thinking that all of these little bits may be parts of what was the original, you think? The original Dreaming Tree, I believe, was said to have had a disease. It was dying. And then it finally, I think a storm or something took it out. I'm surprised they don't have a sign.
It was struck by lightning in 2008.
Where'd you see that? Oh, I didn't read the bottom. So there you go. So they only have a lifespan of 70 to 100 years, and Walt's Dreaming Tree was over 120 years. The remains of the historic tree eventually blew over during a fierce windstorm in 2015.
So my guess would be the roof was right where that big crater is.
A total of 3 saplings were produced by seeds harvested from the original Dreaming Tree in 2003. One of those was planted by Walt's grandson, which we just saw, not more than 30 feet from this very location. A second sapling was gifted to Disneyland and was planted on Tom Sawyer's Island. The third seedling was secretly planted somewhere on the Disney family farm to ensure its historic legacy. That's cool. You can get a little bench there if you want to sit and open up your artistic mind. In the spring of 1906, Elias and Flora Disney moved their family, the idyllic 45-acre farm, purchased the estate of Civil War veteran William Crane. At the time the move, the farm was largely comprised of 2 fruit orchards where they focused on the cultivation of Wolf River apples. It's beautiful. There's even like a lake, it looks like, back over there. Little small lake. Marceline Inspiration, Walt's 1949 film So Dear to My Heart, was set in the early 1900s, echoing the time period the Disney family spent in Marceline. For the film, Walt instructed his production designers to create a barn set that reflected his best memory of the barn he grew up with on this area of the family farm. So this is like just like a little memory lane kind of thing. It's really, really nice. When a young Walt decided to hold a circus in the barn, his friends paid 10 cents for a show comprised of a lethargic goat, a pig, and the family dog and cat dressed in Sister Ruth's doll clothing. They were not impressed. When Flora heard the commotion in the barn, she requested Walt refund the admission and share this wisdom. If you deliver more than your audience expects, they will never be disappointed. A lesson that Walt took to heart. In 1950, Walt used his fondest memories of Marceline to recreate the old family farm barn in the backyard of his new Holmby Hills property in California. Walt used the new barn as a personal workshop for his beloved Carrollwood Pacific Railway. It quickly became his happy place and is regarded as the birthplace of Disney Imagineering. Welcome to Walt's Barn. This barn was built by volunteers in the summer of 2001 to help celebrate Walt's 100th birthday. It was constructed using the blueprints Walt had commissioned for his own Holmby Hills workshop. Autographs and messages to Walt and Roy are welcomed on the interior of the barn only. All others will be removed. So you can actually...
Graffiti.
Yep, you can graffiti the inside. Keep it clean, people. That is so pretty. Oh, wow. Look how many people have been here. Oh my goodness. These walls are covered. Wow, they've done the wagon, the barrel, the benches, oh my gosh, look at them. That is just crazy.
How did people sign that way up there?
I'm gonna guess they climbed up there somehow. Skinny people, how did they get through those boards? Wow. Okay, so if you have been here and your name or whatever is somewhere within this building, comment below and let us know where it is. All right, we signed it. If you find it, when you come here and visit, come back to our video and comment and let us know that you found it.